Alrighty, 2018.
2018. This is going to be a bit easy for me because my 2018 and my 2019 films deal with the same kind of story and topic.
Yeah.
But yours do not.
Nope.
So before I get into my favorite film of 2018, let's talk about your favorite film of 2018.
Alrighty, so can anyone guess what you get when all of your favorite superheroes collide into one awesome
Massive.
movie?
Yeah.
You get, like, something completely epic, which is Avengers Infinity War.
It's plan of yours. I think it's good, except it sucks. So let me do the plan, and that way it might be really good. Wow.
The end is near. When I'm done, half of humanity will still exist. Perfectly balanced. As all things should be. I hope they remember you.
I'm Peter, by the way.
Doctor Strange.
Oh, you're using your made-up names. Then I am Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yep. This movie, my God. 2018 was
Yeah.
dominated by this movie.
This was the most anticipated movie of that year, with its predecessor, Endgame, being the most anticipated of the next year.
A sequel, you mean? You
Yep.
said predecessor. Yeah. Yep. No, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, basically, the plot of this film, obviously it takes place after the first two and after Thor Ragnarok.
Yep.
It's pretty much like the movie that collides all the stories and superheroes together.
The Guardians, the
And-
Avengers, all of them, yeah.
And they're all on the mission to take down Thanos, whose mission is to basically wipe out half of the universe.
With the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yep. And what they need to do is get all the Infinity Stones to prevent him from doing so.
Yeah, and this follows different groups of characters as they attempt to reach this goal.
Yeah.
And this movie was ridiculously amazing and just so satisfying, and also with the ending being one of the most historic and like original and just completely out of nowhere shocking endings.
Personally, I don't hate a lot of superhero films. Like, the majority of them I see are good.
Good
like
to
about
great,
6 to 7 out of 10 at best.
Sure.
But, I mean, when you come to movies like Logan, the Dark Knight trilogy, and now we have Avengers Infinity War, I mean, this just, I could easily compare it to those 4 movies.
Yeah.
Without question.
Yeah, it totally elevated the superhero genre to new heights that we had never seen before.
Yeah. And honestly, it doesn't really feel like a Marvel superhero movie, because it is, well, before Endgame, it was the darkest Marvel movie that has ever been released of the MCU.
Yeah, Endgame took that title. But yes, it really was, and it took its characters seriously. It was the culmination of what we had been promised for so many years. And the fact that it ended up working out so great and satisfying everybody, and also being that highest grossing film of until Endgame came around. Yeah. It was just nuts and so gratifying. We both love this movie.
And this movie, like Force Awakens, also broke many records because it was highly anticipated. But honestly, spoiler alert for my rankings, I'd probably say I like this a lot better than Force Awakens.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that too, because with one franchise being Star Wars was coming back after so long of nothing.
Yeah.
this was a conclusion of something we had been promised for so long.
The MCU, which is basically all a bunch of stories collided into one.
And it for the most part, it has worked incredibly well.
Yeah.
And we've gotten so many good movies. I mean, it's ridiculous when you look back at the whole lineup of MCU movies up until this point. The majority definitely are positive as negative. So.
And I also feel like this goes so in depth with many different characters.
It does.
As far as backstories and initiatives.
Yep. And such a crowded movie with so many characters, it still finds character development in those quieter scenes.
Like, how do they find time to fit, like, those 30-plus characters into one movie?
I don't know. In a 2.5-hour movie? 2 hour, 40 minute? I can't remember.
I think it had a runtime of 156 minutes.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah,
so
that's the longest in my list, and for a good reason, too.
Yeah, the only film that beat that in the MCU was Endgame being at 3 hours and 1 minute.
Yeah.
But the Russo brothers, we should have known when Winter Soldier and Civil War came out, they were the right people for Infinity War.
Definitely.
They so were.
Yeah.
And this film doesn't... The credits roll right after that shocking snap scene.
I know.
And it's like you were watching, like, a drama, because there's barely any music to it. The credits, there's no creativity. It's just, like, credits.
Like, this almost did feel like a drama movie than the other... Whereas the other MCU movies were...
More fantastical.
More
funny.
I mean, this one still had funny moments, too, just less of them.
It felt more grounded.
Yeah.
It felt more like, oh, we're taking this seriously. Yeah.
It's interesting because the funny moments, I thought here were funnier than the other movies.
Yeah. Well, certain things come back into play that maybe were set up in previous movies that have a great payoff and, stuff like that. So, yeah, we could gush on about Avengers Infinity War for a long time.
Yeah.
A very long time.
But I gotta get to what I would do differently in the highlight. So, if there's one thing I would do differently with this film, I would make it less repetitive when it comes to gathering the Infinity Stones.
Fair enough.
But
yeah, okay.
Other than that, I would say the best part used to be Thor meeting Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
But now I would say after that snap scene, all those shocking deaths.
Yeah, the snap scene
just
is
disappear.
Your highlight. Yeah, I would probably agree with that. Maybe Thor arriving and on battle with Rocket and Groot was also amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was so many standout moments from this movie. It's hard to pick just one.
Yep.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, there you go. Avengers Infinity War, that's yours. Well deserved, for sure.
Definitely.
And
now, your pick for 2018.
Yeah, my best film of 2018. I definitely have a lot less to say about this than Avengers Infinity War, not because it's not as good of a film, because it's so different.
Yeah.
And this is the incredible documentary, Won't You Be My Neighbor?
You take all of the elements that make good television and do the exact opposite. You have Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Low production values, simple set, unlikely star. Yet, it worked.
Hello. I've always felt that I didn't need to put on a funny hat or jump through the hoop to have a relationship with a child.
He was always trying to get a message across in every show. A week on death.
What does assassination mean?
On divorce.
Some people get married, and after a while, they're so unhappy that they don't want to be married anymore.
He was radical. I know everyone says that, but he was radical.
They didn't want black people to come and swim in their swimming pools. My being on the program was a statement for Fred.
A neighborhood was a place where, at times that you felt worried, scared, unsafe, would take care of you.
He had a singular vision of kindness and love.
Love is at the root of everything. All learning, all relationships, love or the lack of it. Children have very deep feelings, just the way everybody does. There must be times when you do feel blue. I'm not feeling blue right now, though.
Me neither.
Won't you be my neighbor? Well, I suppose it's an invitation. It's an invitation for somebody to be close to you. The greatest thing that we can do is to help somebody know that they're loved and capable of loving. Won't you please, won't you please, please won't you be my neighbor?
Came out, oh god, it came out I believe in August of 2018. I did get a chance to see it in the theaters, and by the time I walked out of the movie, I was completely numb. I was silent. I was processing what I just witnessed and watched. It's a beautiful film. It's sad, it's uplifting, it's life-affirming. It's just everything I wanted a documentary about Mr. Rogers to be. Yeah. And I learned so much about Mr. Rogers that I didn't know because I didn't watch him when I was a kid. He wasn't around. My parents grew up with him. It just was so satisfying, and I think everybody needs to see this movie. Yeah. It's my favorite documentary of all time, and it only came out 2 years ago. Yeah. So what does that tell you, you know?
And, I mean, I like that this it really goes in depth into Mr. Rogers. Like, not only his message of just being kind to people, but how other people kind of misunderstood his show and the message he was trying to prevail.
It was very important that they included that in the movie.
Yeah.
Very. Yep. It was so real and raw, and it didn't really play it safe with anything regarding his life. The documentary told you everything about him.
Yeah,
essentially.
Definitely.
And I love that we were able to peek back the curtain behind the show and really take a look at just the man himself.
Yeah.
I just love this film. Favorite moment would definitely be the very end of the movie where the people were being interviewed. They were being interviewed throughout the movie, but when they were talking about how Mr. Rogers might have reacted to how the climate that our world is in right now.
Like after 9/11?
Yeah, stuff like that. It was heartbreaking, but at the same time, it was just like so effective. And that was a powerful note to end the movie on, and that was definitely, that was the highlight of the movie for me. In an already fantastic movie, that moment did it for me. So, small, personal, emotional film for my best. Big, bombastic, serious, but shocking and massive superhero movie for you. 2018.
Both very unique films.
Yeah, totally on different ends of the spectrum, but not lacking in quality whatsoever. I mean, just in different ways. And that being said, we're going to move on to our final film of the decade. That is 2019, last year. Coming up.